mean, at home when I was young, and there was a simple rule at home that if you want something, you have to earn it. So those days, the way to earn was scoring good marks. So when I got good marks, I got my bicycle. So I knew I need to get a good camera now. So in my first year of college, I scored 97%. And my father didn't have a choice but to give me a camera to begin with, and
Okay.
2 rolls of film. That's how it started. I shot some pictures with those 2 rolls of film, and as luck would have it, one of the pictures from those first 2 rolls of film that I ever used with an SLR camera got published in the Times of India Pune edition, where I was based. I was studying physics in Ferguson College those days, and from there on, there was no looking back. And so that's it. I mean, ever since I've been taking pictures, I mean, I have had my journeys, and everybody has their journeys and their stories. So if I go on and on, it'll become boring. So I'm sure there'll be more exciting things to talk about. And getting back to your other part of the question, which is about whether photography can become your profession, and whether you can really take it seriously and make it a way of your livelihood. I mean, I would say, why not? I mean, I've traveled across continents. I have interacted and made friends with a lot of influential people, beautiful models, witnessed some of the greatest sporting events, collaborated with reputed artists, associated with some of the biggest brands, not only photographs some of the best food, but eaten them too, stayed in some of the best places in the world, and to top it all, got paid for it. I mean, what better can you ask for as a profession? I mean, why not? I mean, I think it's a wonderful thing to start with. Ask people to do whatever that you want them to do. And the best part about, I believe that our job is to make everything look beautiful. I mean, and anything of beauty, you by default start loving it, and something that you love gives you happiness. So, I mean, we are in the best field of any business, I would say. To begin with, knowledge is power. I mean, and the best way to get that power is through education. I mean, the hit and trial way is the way I had to take, because I was not having the luxury to even consider going to a college, because I was ignorant. That time I was stupid, but what it does, the college does, is it gives you the most expensive thing, which is time. You save so much time that you get so much time to explore photography as a professional after you complete your college. So it brings a method in the madness. And once that is it's like, it's like a Google navigator. So you know where to go. So if you get that map with you, life becomes easier. So the college does that for you. Anyways, you'll figure out your way. But if you get the map, life becomes easier. So college definitely is of help. And I feel, in a way, a little jealous that there are beautiful, wonderful, intelligent, talented kids who are able to do what they are doing in Annapurna, which I could not do. I wish I could go back to school again. I mean, like Main Hoon Na Shah Rukh Khan, but let's see. I believe there are two things in life in general. One is the purpose, and the other is the feel. I mean, I believe, why are we doing something? I mean, like, why are we taking this picture? Is it to showcase an idea, sell a product, depict an event, document condition, or, I mean, like, what is the purpose behind it? So if you know the purpose, that will define what you are going to use for it. And the feel also, like, you want to make people happy, you want to make people sad, you want to make people to aspire for a product like a car or something. So it's about the feel that you would like to impart through the visual. I mean, a picture speaks 1,000 words, as they say. So what it speaks to your audience, if you know that, that will automatically define the equipment that you use. I never believe it is the bat that made Sachin. It was Sachin who made the bat what it was. So it's like, it's not the equipment, it is the person behind the equipment who makes the picture happen. More often than not, what happens is, what you want. If you see, most often we do not know why we want it. We just want it. Now we are realizing, thanks to COVID, that essential, non-essential. Otherwise, you look at without the malls we have been living right for the last several months. So we do not. It's the want. Why, we do not know. So once you know the why, everything becomes very easy. Like, why am I doing this with you? Because am I creating a competition for myself? I mean, there are going to be so many photographers coming out who are going to be formally trained in Annapurna, and they'll become my competitors. So, anyways, we have no work, so there'll be no work for me even further. But still, I'm doing this. So, is that why am I doing this? What I'm doing with you? No, I'm not doing that because I do not believe I have any competition. And I also believe nobody has any competition, because for a competition to happen to begin with, the starting point and the ending point has to be the same. The day I was born, somebody else is not born. The day I will die, somebody else will not die. So the starting and the ending point is different. Our journeys are different. So where is the competition? So, I mean, the competition is only with your own self, you know. It is about how you can better yourself each day. Like today, I am doing a webinar with you. I'm not very comfortable doing this because I find I believe in the real thing. I mean, I'm still getting used to the virtual world. Maybe the next webinar, whenever I do that, or if I do it, I don't do it often. People have asked me to. I have to better myself. That's it. I mean, I may not be as good as I am supposed to be, but I will learn from what I get from today and take it forward. So that's how everybody should do it. Analog is analog, digital is digital, as simple as that. You know, analog requires more control and discipline, whereas digital gives you the liberty to be a little more relaxed, so you can make more mistakes. You can delete the pictures very easily. In analog, once you have taken it, it's gone. So, and you have limited number of frames. So, I mean, you've got to be more disciplined and more in control. The second thing in analog is also you cannot see what you're doing. We are so used to seeing it right away in digital, like the result comes instantly in front of us, and we are so used to seeing it. We do not have the patience anymore to wait for the roles to get processed and then see the results, you know. So from the commercial client point of view, we do not have the luxury to explore analog anymore, which is a fact. Okay, so commercially speaking, it has to be digital because people want to see it there and then. Okay, it becomes easier. Like for the art director, they can direct you, or the client can see what is happening, or the model or the actor, actress, or the personality can see how they are looking, and so they're so used to it. If you tell them, no, I'll show it to you tomorrow when the film is processed, I mean, they cannot digest that fact anymore. So you have to accept it first. Analog you can use to create fine art or any special project which you would like to work on, and it is a wonderful, because I started with film rolls, as I told you. So for me, it was fascinating to go to the dark room and see the prints that I used to make, you know, or the hypo and all of that, like, you know. But that's now more of a luxury. It's about demand and supply. The demand is less, supply. So demand is supply is less. So obviously, if you do it, it's going to become very, very unique. So it's not something that is easily available. See, I do not romanticize about things of the past as much. I know it. I mean, if some girl has broken my heart and left me, I got to live with it. You know, so if I do not get roles anymore, I have to live with it. You know, I cannot fantasize about it and forget the girl right next to me who might be my wife. Right? I'll tell you why. Because what happens is we go with a preconceived idea in our head that Sachin would be like this, so I have to behave with him in this way. Or a Dalai Lama would be like this. So we have already made an image of that character in our head. Or a Brad Pitt would be like this. So we start behaving based on the image that we have made in our head even before we met the person. Okay? So because of which we already have created a lot of barriers between the person and us. So our behavior changes in front of the person. We are not ourselves. You know, you just treat Dalai Lama or a Sachin Tendulkar or a Brad Pitt like another human being like you and me. Why look at them differently? I mean, that is the biggest problem. When we look at a celebrity, for example, we start behaving differently. They are also human beings, like even the corporate world. I mean, I've shot a lot of big, big personalities from there as well. You know, Are Baba re, itna bada aadmi, you know, it's scary. So how I should be behaving. I'm not saying you should disrespect them or not. You should treat them like, you know, without any you're nobody, you know, not that way. But what I'm saying is you did not give them too much reverence so that they're beyond you. whatever you're saying, it can't even reach them. So what you got to do is first accept and acknowledge that they are also human beings like you, and they are no different from you. They're not aliens from different planets, whoever the celebrity is. Okay, the second most important thing I feel is, once you have realized that, you have to understand that they are who they are because of the work that they have done or they continue to do. They're the best in their field. So your work there is to take a good picture of them. That is your job. They have done their job well. That is why they are who they are. So if you do your job well, you take good pictures of them, you will also be a celebrity in your own field. So you focus on what you're supposed to focus on. To take good pictures, not focus on Brad Pitt is so big or Dalai Lama is so big. You take good pictures of Brad Pitt will fall in love with you. Dalai Lama will fall in love with you, and world will know you. I mean, you are interviewing me because I might have taken some good pictures, right? So what happens, we focus more on the celebrity and forget what we are there for. We are there to take good pictures. I believe in doing my homework well, I study the person on a personal level. I try to, because, so thanks to technology, I have my mobile phone, it has got internet. So even if I don't have time, while I'm traveling to the place of shoot or whatever, I start reading about them. And try to figure out things which are not very obvious about them. Okay, even maybe pick up a line or two in their mother tongue. Okay, the first thing is you have to create an environment for the person you're working with, which they are aware of and they are comfortable in. So mother tongue is the first thing which makes life easier for people. So even if I don't know Tamil or Telugu, I learn a word or two. All you need to know is how are you doing, all of that in their mother tongue, right? You don't need to know the whole language. You don't need to know the whole literature. So even if you talk to them like in their mother tongue, they'll be surprised. Okay, so that is how you break the ice. The second thing I do is I try to gather information when I'm reading, which are not very obvious. Like Sachin is a batsman, a cricketer. So that is an obvious thing, but a Brad Pitt is a film star. That's an obvious thing. So you got to figure out which is not so obvious about them while so you have to be like a Sherlock Holmes. Okay. And then start talking about things that they like. I mean, everybody likes certain things. So you got to figure it out. So these are the words that they like, or this is the way so you have to start mirroring them. So they do not feel alienated. Most of us, what happens is, like most of the celebrities I work with, if you see my section on me in my website, I've been fooling around with everybody, irrespective of who they are. Okay, so not that I do not respect them. It is, and they also fool around with me. Like Gary Mulligan is cooking me, or Mukesh Ambani is blessing me, and like there are lots of ridiculous things that people have done with me. Only because I make them feel at ease. I do not make them feel that we are doing a job. We are there to have fun. Most of us take our work too seriously. I mean, and ourselves too seriously, not the work. So you should focus on your job rather than the paraphernalias. The paraphernalias become so overpowering that we forget our main purpose of being wherever we are. So our purpose is only taking good pictures or bad pictures. Sometimes we need to take bad pictures also, because that is how we need to depict a certain thing. So if there is some animals are being treated badly, and for Blue Cross, if you want some pictures, obviously you would not make it beautiful and show it. You would show it in the way it is. So that's that. So we have to not digress from our purpose. That everywhere it applies, here as well. Anybody who is under stress or not comfortable, or they look confused, right? Or they'll look stressed. I mean, every muscle, no matter what lighting, what makeup, what clothes every muscle speaks. The face is the continents of the mind, right? That's what Shakespeare had said. So if they are not feeling relaxed and comfortable and at ease, no matter how good a photographer is, your pictures won't turn out good. So the first thing is putting them at ease. Whoever is in front of you, it might be a celebrity, it might be a non-celebrity, whoever it is. So if it's a kid, you have to start behaving like a kid. You cannot order a kid. What happens is, hey, bacha, idhar khade ho ja. No. You have to play with, like I'll give you one simple example. Years ago, I shot Azharuddin and Rubiana for Slumdog Millionaire. Okay, and because it won the Oscars and all of that, the whole media went ballistic, and beta aapko kaisa lag raha hai, beti aapko kaisi lag raha hai, and all that. They were like mad, and poor kids who had a culture shock. They were like back from, let's say, Hollywood and Oscars and Disney and all of that, back to their slums. And so, they were disillusioned, and the father of Azharuddin was like a drunkard. So he was being bribed on the side so that he could wake up the kid in the middle of the night, take a picture. And so it was nuisance, right? So I said, I'm not doing anything right now. Let this noise settle. And once this will settle, only then I will go, okay, and meet them. So what I did was I allowed the noise to settle. I realized that they are a kid, okay, first, and went to them with things that kids enjoy. So I just bought a few chocolates and cold drink and stuff like that, and went and met them and got their friends along with them and started playing with them first, forgetting photography altogether. Okay, once I became friends with them, they started doing fun stuff with me. So they got a hen, Azharuddin got a hen, put it in his head, so started doing weird stuff. So I said, okay, you can do all that, so I can do even better stuff. So I started making a fool of myself. I started making faces. I said, and I told him, like, ye le mera camera, tu khich ke bata, mere se acha bana sakta hai kya? So I dared to give him my camera, and I started making faces. He said, no, main aapse acha bana dega, aap dekho, tu matlab वापस camera de, main khich ke dikhata hai tere ko, mera acha hai, tera acha. So I got expressions which nobody would think of. So I had to become a kid. I could not think I am Ritam and I shot so and so and blah blah blah. I am being on the webinar with Anup. So all that I have to forget. I have to speak in the language that the person understands, be it a kid or a celebrity. It doesn't matter. Honestly speaking, there are several, and just taking a few names would be doing disservice. It could be just a photograph I see on Instagram right now, shot by an unknown kid. Today times have changed. If I'm talking about Herb Ritts or Barry Rattigan or Robert Faber or Henry Cartier-Bresson, and like these names sounds very big, nice, and all of that. But today there are like random people who are taking awesome pictures because it's become easier to take pictures. It's at your fingertips today. So I can get inspired from anything and anybody. So I do not want to just name randomly just a few names and spoil the fun. Let just be open and learn from everywhere. Everywhere is everything. Just keep your eyes and ears open. You will get inspired soon. I love to keep this aside. Like, the brain is a disturbance. I follow the heart. So I do not use the brain at all. If it makes me feel good or bad, or it moves me in some way, I'm curious. And that comes automatically. You are, your work is a reflection of who you are. So I believe, even if you do not realize, you definitely have, like, if you cook something and I cook something, the same dish, it will taste different. It is because of the amount of love that you put into it. So the ingredients might be the same, but there is one ingredient which is the ingredient of love. How much of love you have put into the cooking is going to give you the taste that you're. So it's like, I always say it's like a recipe book. Everything is mentioned, the quantity of the masalas and the oil and whatever that you use to make a dish is mentioned, but namak andaz se, salt to taste. So the salt that you add is to taste. So one can, if one sees a picture and it has been done with a lot of passion, they may not be perfect, and there is nothing perfect in this world. It is about how we see it, because we come with a certain experience, with certain expertise and exposure. So for you, you have seen a different world. So you will come looking at things from your world. I will come looking at things from my world and my experiences. So the kid might have been born in, let's say, Hyderabad, and I may not have been to Hyderabad ever. So he might have gone to Golconda Fort or Charminar and done something extraordinary, which might not be might not make any sense to me, or the churis out there, the bangles, next to Charminar, or the white pearls, so those are things I don't know, let's say, and he does something extraordinary out of that, which might be very difficult for him to create, let's say. Okay, so I have to negate all of that. I got to just relate to the feeling that I get from it. And that comes from namak andaz se. I mean, aapne kitna dala hai na pyar se. So I do not look at good or bad. I look at how much passion that person has. I mean, I fail sometimes. It's not that I'm right all the time. So even when I'm judging a competition, like I have judged hundreds of competitions across the world, I'm given an Excel sheet. Okay, mark on the basis of this. I do not do that. I say like first, second, third, de dunga, baki nahi pata. For consolation chahiye de dunga. But it is like I align them together. Like forget the kids, like my pictures. Let's say I am shooting 100 pictures. Right from there, I have to only like there'll be only one picture will make into an ad or make into a magazine or whatever, right? So the rest of the pictures are rejected, right? So how do I reject them? So I first get them all together. Then the first round of sorting is if they're technically not right, like it's totally out of focus or blurred or the eyes are shut or the hair has come on the face or whatever. So that is out. Then the second, slowly I go to the emotion. And yeah, and then the emotion comes from the eyes. Even if you're smiling, it could be a fake smile, but your eyes can't be fake it. So your eyes have it. Like when I was working with Barry John, I mean, I was doing prosthetic makeup and I transformed Barry John from a 1 month kid to a 100-year-old man. And I depicted the 7 ages of man from Shakespeare's As You Like It. So when I was doing that, it was a lot of prosthetic makeup. And that time prosthetic makeup was not very common. Like now, I mean, a few people had done it. Now it's very, very common. So that was my first calendar I was ever doing for myself. And I thought like people would not be able to recognize Barry John because it's of the prosthetic. So that is when the makeup artist told me it is not the face, it is the eyes. So yes, so it is the eyes that will make people understand that is Barry John. So if you cover the eyes, if you see, I mean, even in when we do not want to reveal the identity, we cut the eyes. So you have to keep an eye on the eye, like Arjun. That's exactly what I was saying. I mean, if you fake it, I can make it out that you're faking it. I mean, it's very normal. It's very easy. I mean, we try to impress people. Stop impressing people. Just be you. Even if you're crooked, that's you. Stop creating an image which you have to live up to. What happens is we become slaves to an image created in our own head about ourselves, which is created by others, not us. We think people will see us like this, so we have to behave in such a way. I don't know. I mean, like, if I'm not comfortable today, I might try to, fit into your system. Tomorrow, if I try doing that, I might fail. And once the moment I fail, I will break all the images that I have created in your head, and that will be the last day that I meet you. So don't create an image. Be who you are, whatever it is. Stop being judgmental. I mean, or don't judge yourself, don't judge others. And let's see what happens. I mean, like, you might fall in love with somebody, you might not, you cannot like justify why. You just feel it, right? Why I like this girl or why I don't like that guy, nobody knows. You just like her. Then you reason it out later. I like her because of her beautiful hair and her eyes and her poise and her grace. All that comes later. That is all when we look at it on hindsight. It just happens. Kuch kuch hota hai bas. So in life, everywhere kuch kuch hi hota hai. First is the honesty, passion. Like mar mitne ke liye taiyar. I mean, I will do anything for my passion. Secondly, most of the kids, including myself, we know what we want, or we presume we know. Again, getting back to why we want it. If they want to come to me because Ritam Banerjee shot Brad Pitt and Sachin Tendulkar or Tom Cruise or whosoever, he is coming for the wrong reason. Okay. Or if he's coming and thinking that he will only, be in a studio with glamorous people and beautiful people and all beautiful big lights. No, you might have to, mop the floor in the office, which has nothing glamorous about it. Or you might have to, go and get Xerox. Because to do a little bit of creativity, you have to do so much of non-creative stuff to make the creative thing happen. So you have to first accept and understand that 99, like you do a lot of rehearsals and practice for like a half an hour performance on stage. And the clap happens for half a second or half a minute. And you're waiting only for that clap. So the amount of effort to like the months of training and practice that you're put in for the half an hour performance, nobody gets to know. If those half an hour are awesome, people don't care how much practice or no practice you have done. So you should know clearly why you are doing something. Yeah, I mean, like we have our images. I was telling you, we have an image. Oh, this project will be like this. Like Sachin will be like this, or a Brad Pitt. I'm just taking these names because you have already taken them. I don't want to take other names. So that's that. Like, so we have already in our head, and when we meet them, they turn out to be something else, right? In my case, they turn out to be much more wonderful than I had imagined, because that's how I interact with them. It is up to you how you interact with them. Like when I came to your college, I had a wonderful time with Amla and Nagarjun. I went home to their house, and I had like Adda to such an extent that they had to call up the airport authorities and tell them, don't let the plane go, Ritam has to go. So I was rushed to the airport because we had forgotten that we were chatting for so long. So those special things happen because we make them happen, right? So sometimes not so special things happen. You have gone with an idea, the project will be such and such. It may not be as per your perception of the project. So you may not feel happy. You might feel claustrophobic. Oh, where have I landed? I didn't want to do this. Oh no, is this bad? Are they going to be sitting on my head like this? Could happen, right? I mean, everybody is different. Okay, or you may not enjoy it. But you being a professional, if you walk out of a project or you get rid of it and say, I'm going, it is very unprofessional for you to do so, because there is a lot at stake. Not only it is money, it is the reputation of the team or the people involved, the brand, and a lot of other factors. And it is not just the picture. There are spaces booked for that. And there are several things which you're not even aware of, okay, which are interconnected. It's like a chain reaction. So even if you don't like it, you have to give your best shot to get the best out of it. That is where your professionalism, like Virat Kohli lost his father while he was playing cricket. He did not run away. He played this game and then he went home and then did the rites of his father's funeral, came back the next day and played again. So you are on the field, you are playing, you cannot say my father is not well. You finish your job to perfection. Then if you don't like that person or the project or the brand or whatever, don't work with them again. Nobody's catching you by the collar and telling you to work with them. But when you're working, you give it your best shot and come out. I mean, giving your best is a good way to slap people rather than abusing them and coming out. So they will miss you. When they want you next time, you are in a better position. Okay, I can say no. So you are in a state of position of power, not the other way around. There have been several times because we are two different individuals to begin with. Okay, so I mean, like I love to become friends with the person, whoever. It's a creative director, art director, or a celebrity, or whosoever. So I try to speak their language. I try to figure out as fast as I can. So if I can speak their language, then I know what they're trying to say. If I do not understand, I ask them. I mean, there's no shame in asking people what is it, even if they are so rigid. I mean, you have to learn to be flexible. If you cannot be flexible, you'll break. So even then, if you see that flexibility is not happening at the other end, you can't do much. Then what you do is you accept it. You do it the way that person wants it, and do it so well and so fast that you get time, if possible, to do it your way as well. So you do their work, and then you do it your way. I've done it several times. Like people have told me, okay, why don't you shoot like this? Okay, I'll shoot it like this. I shoot them like that, and then I say, okay, give me 2 minutes, and then I shoot it my way, and then I show them, okay, this was nice. I mean, I tried this also. What do you think? First is breathe. There's nothing else that you can do right now. So, I mean, we waste a lot of time thinking about things which are beyond our control. Can we do anything about the situation? We can't do anything. We can do things about ourselves. You can sit at home and learn something new, train yourself, become better at your game, and improve yourself in whatever capacity is possible. Like I did not know a lot of things, I mean, which I learned during this COVID time. So I'm very happy I did, so you have to now, with the confidence with which I will go back on the field, it's going to be much more than I would have otherwise had, because I've learned some new skills in the process. So most of the time what we talk about or we deal with or we get agitated about are things that is beyond our control. So stop thinking about things which are beyond your control. look at things that are in your control. Your control is you. Nobody else, nothing else. Nothing else, not even your parents. Okay? So do whatever you can do with yourself. The rest will happen on its own. You can't do anything about it. Okay? So that is the first thing. Not just photography. I mean, photography or anything. Any human being, if they do all this in any field, it will work. It's as simple as that. And getting back to the second part of the question is like, I was staying alone and I had gotten rid of my staff. So there was this lady who used to come and cook for me and all of that. So she had stopped coming and I had told her not to come and all of that. So I had to start cooking for myself. I had to start cleaning utensils. I had to start washing clothes. I mean, I know, yeah, washing machine and all of that, but still, I had to do all that which I had forgotten to do, or I had not done it in a long, long time because I'd taken it for granted. Like I had to clean and sweep and swab. So all those kinds of things I had to do. So once I started doing that and I gotten used to it, and I used to start studying about new things, random things like coding. Okay, I made my own website. I revamped it and made it a new website. I was just sitting and randomly learning something and I started doing it. So I said, okay, I need to, if I can make my website look a little different this time, why not? So let me try. So I did it. So those kinds of things if you can do. While doing that, it so happened that I said, okay, what else can I do? So I thought, if I can start interacting with people and start taking pictures, because I had not shot for a long, long time. And my fingers were itching to pick up the camera or do something, create something. So I said, okay, let me randomly reach out to people and see if they will be modeling for me, and I started approaching them. And in the beginning, it so happened that it was not easy. Because today the world is evolving, we as humans are evolving, communication is evolving, appreciation and understanding is evolving, even our expression of emotions and feelings are evolving. The origin of the memories and the moments, the way we used to look at it has become very different. The way we self-introspect is also different. So everything is unique in these unique times. So you have to look at everything in a unique way. So I took the liberty to go beyond and accept that I will encounter a lot of rejections, a lot of flack, and a lot of people. Like I started shooting people randomly, and I can tell you on the way I started doing pictures of women and models or who are aspiring models, because that was the easiest thing to do. Because and I realized it is easy to do it with people out of India than in India. I mean, my experience is so. And in every continent, I had different experience, because it's the environment that defines who you are. Because we are otherwise in the same platform. Everybody was going through COVID. So it is no different in that way. But the rest of the things, your upbringing is what was making the difference. So I realized in the US, it was very different from how it was in Mexico, or how it was in Argentina, or how it was in Nigeria, or no, not Nigeria, Kenya, where I shot, or how it was in Australia, or how it was in Tokyo. So everywhere it was very, very different from the other. And the most important thing that happened was, log kya sochenge, I threw it out of the window. The biggest problem that happens is, log kya kahenge. Okay. Stop thinking about log kya kahenge. First do it, then log will say something. Like Gandhi ji once said that first people will hate you, then they will throw you, then they will like you, and then you will be the winner. So first people hated me, then they started, and then I started getting media coverage, random places. Like I got a double spread coverage a couple of days ago in some newspaper in Croatia. Last week, I think I was featured in 2 newspapers in Holland. I mean, so these are things I had not calculated. And I have made awesome friends across the world. Now I have got family all over the world. I have houses to stay in, and I have all sorts of things. I'm chilling, man. I mean, like I'm sorted now for the rest of my life now. I mean, 40 odd countries I've shot people. I mean, not 40, 25, 30 countries I've already shot in. I've shot 40, 50 people already from across 6 continents. So I have enough to enjoy life with now. I've got so many awesome friends now. Again, it depends on what you want from the image. If the shoot or the shot looks good as it is and it serves your purpose, awesome. If it doesn't, do whatever it takes to make it happen. So if it requires editing, so be it. whatever it takes to reach the purpose of the shoot. Make it happen. That's it. If it happens automatically, you can make it happen automatically. Awesome. If you cannot, figure out a way. Because nobody wants to know how you cooked. People want to just have the food. If it's tasting good, they don't care how it was cooked.
Interesting. Now, you've made a conscious choice of touching up in every genre of photography, be it travel, portraiture. Do you think every photographer should master in different fields of photography, or should they, say, specialize in a particular genre of photography?
Honestly, I did what I did because beggars can't be choosers. I had a corporate job. I quit my job. Nobody's giving me work. So whoever gave me work, I did it. So for me, it was about whatever I got, I had to do it well. Was it architecture photography? Was it food photography? I'm a fashion photographer. I didn't have the liberty to do that. Whatever came my way, I had to do it well for my next job. So that's how, when people told me you don't specialize in anything, I used to say I specialize in taking good pictures. You have a problem with that? So it's the way you look at it, right? I specialize in taking good pictures. You give me a subject. I mean, why should I be complaining? On one hand, I get to shoot Tom Cruise one day and Mercedes the next day. Now, is there a problem with that? I mean, like, if you have a problem, there's a problem with you, you know. I mean, I get 7 Mercedes cars to shoot and travel the country or beyond, and I get to meet Hollywood stars and enjoy life with them. What is wrong? I mean, where's the problem? You know, so that is what I get. Do you know? Now, specialization, what it does is it gives you identity fast. Okay? Whereas your versatility gives you the liberty to explore variety of things. So you want a 7-course meal, or you want to eat the same thing over and over again. A lot of people enjoy having the same thing over and over again. I don't. I mean, I get bored. So for me, it was beggars can't be choosers. Now the vocabulary is improved. So the same thing now is called versatility. So I'm still the beggars can't be choosers, but they call me versatile now. That's the only difference. So it's your personal journey. It is about how you feel. I mean, I had to take that route because I liked it. Initially, it was compulsion. Then I started enjoying it. But if you do not enjoy it, don't do it. Like, you might only like shooting cars, or you might only like shooting food. So it is up to you what you do. So your portfolio also should be you. It should be unique. Like, if I get 100 portfolios, let's say, to review, like a lot of times I get model pictures and stuff like that to shortlist for a shoot and all of that. How do you decide? Like, how do you do casting? For example, it's the same thing like shortlisting an intern. Like, so they'll send their portfolio, you decide. How do you do it? So it's about how much uniqueness you find in their work. It's like their signature. Like, signature is not perfect. It's not cursive writing. So if you see a hint of it, signature may not be developed in a youngster. But if you see that he is trying to be himself or herself, then you pick him up. The rest can happen. Because they have the hunger. Like, be hungry, be stupid, like Steve Jobs said. So if you find that stupidity and hunger in them, they are the best options to work with. Any visual media, like, or performing media, everything is interconnected. I mean, every media, I mean, not only performing or visual, even audio. I mean, like, I was talking to you when we decided to do this. I was taking an example of Shiva. A lot of times with sound, you could see the visuals in front of you, even if it did not exist. You knew Amla was getting killed, and I was crying in the theater like anything. How can they kill Amla? I mean, Bhavani, get lost. I will kill you now. So even with sound, so it is about those sensations that you create. So it is interlinked. So if you see sculptures, you see dance, you see various forms, you should be open to taking it. So what will inspire you or influence you or make you learn, which you can implement in your... So animation or cinema is only multiple frames going in a second. It's a photograph only. It's 24 seconds or 25 frames or whatever. Like, 24 frames, 25 seconds in a second. So it's just one photograph after the other, right? So if you have better understanding of the emotions, you can create the expressions in the characters better. So you have to start be more observant. Like I told you about the eyes. Now you know what an angry eye should look like when you're creating an animation, let's say, or a happy eye should look like. So happy in what? Why is the person happy? Has he scored a good marks or has he fallen in love? So happy also has a different. So the eyes expressions will be very different. So you have to be observant. You can create anything. If Virat Kohli given a different bat or Sachin given a different bat, will they become less competent? Or will they score less centuries? I mean, how does the bat, how you use the bat is what matters. I mean, with iPhone, mobile phone, I am shooting people in, some godforsaken place in Belgium or in Kenya or in Argentina, like just taking screenshots and making it look good and putting it up on Instagram and wherever, which you are seeing and enjoying or not enjoying, whatever you're reacting to it. Isn't that good enough? Stop thinking about, it's not the pen that makes you a good writer. It's what you write that makes you a good writer. So forget about all that. No, I mean, like, why bother about the pen? Whatever pen is given, won't you write a good script? Ask yourself, do you really love it? Love it to the point of getting married to it. Honeymoon period will last till the honeymoon period, mind you. So your girlfriend, the moment she becomes your wife, the honeymoon period is over. So you have to go and buy the grocery. So be ready for it. If the grocery buying is a pain for you, don't get married. So if you genuinely love the person, be prepared to do the groceries. When you have a child, you get used to cleaning the shit out of the child when it's born. So all the dirty things be ready for. If that is not what you're ready for, don't get into it. Don't get married. So if you're marrying photography or a woman or a man, think honeymoon period will last for only the number of days you are in Switzerland or in Shimla. After that, you're back to where you are. So if that you can handle, then you should take the jump. Otherwise, don't. When I look at my other work, like my earlier work, any work, like maybe which I've done yesterday, I am not, or the moment the shoot is over, I am not happy all the time. 99.9% of the time, I'm not happy because I'm very greedy, and I expect a lot from myself. So as I told you, my competitor is myself. So I only talk to myself regarding this, I mean, so I also know for a fact that I am not the best or I am not perfect. I am only striving for perfection, an illusory one at that. Nothing is perfect in this world, never will be. Chand mein bhi daag hota hai. Okay, so you have to always understand that what you have got today is the best you could do. Maybe for whatever reason, okay, because of the resources limitation or because of your mindset. Maybe your mom scolded you in the morning and you have to go for a shoot. So you're not in the right frame of mind, or you're married and your wife had a fight with you. So obviously you have to control that and go and do your job, right? So, or maybe you had a good time with your kid in the morning and then you went to work. So even that makes a difference, right? So the best you could do on that day, given the situation that you were in. And then see if even more difficult situations come, how you handle it. So every day, and if I do the best today, what will I do tomorrow? I've already done the best. It cannot get better than the best, right? So every day I think I have not done the best and I have to keep on improving and learning every day. So that's all. The beauty about photography is that fact that it is an art using the tools of science to create commerce. So it's a beautiful amalgamation of art, science, and commerce together. See, I mean, that is a problem that most artists face. They focus on the art, the aesthetics, and the creatives, and they do not know the commerce. And it has got to do with our upbringing or our education. They all coexist, but we are made to focus only on one. So you have to know the science. So you have to know the equipment. You have to know the features and all of that. You ought to know the aesthetics, which will create that emotion that you want to get out of your audience. So that aesthetics and sensibility. Then you need to know how much will it cost, because you cannot just randomly splurge money, right? So it's a beautiful amalgamation. So you have to be able to take from everywhere and open to learn from everything. It's not just limiting yourself to one. So when you are even budgeting for it, you got to break it down to a monosyllable, and you got to forget that any project, you're not doing it for anybody. You're not doing it for the client. The biggest mistake that we make is we think we are doing it for somebody else. We are making it for the audience. We are making it for the client. We are making it to impress his personality. No, you're not. You're doing it because it makes you happy. That's the bottom line. Okay, if it is not making you happy, don't do it. So even when a project comes, I look at it as my project, not the client's project. If I was doing it, what all I would put in to make it the best. And the rest of the things just fall into place accordingly. Ignorance is bliss. So when we do not know anything, we think it is utopia. It is fool's paradise. It is not utopia. So when you are getting into something like this, it is always nice to have an understanding of what you are doing. First of all, when you're getting into it as a profession and commercially thinking of making money out of it, you have to first realize that it is not your money. Somebody is spending money for a certain reason. So when you go to buy something, you think of how it will benefit you. So you have to first think of the others. If you make the others happy, you will be happy to begin with. But it is not about like pleasing others. I'm just saying you have to understand what the other person needs. And that is what he's paying for. If you are doing it for your own exhibition or your own satisfaction, own gratification, do whatever shit you want. But when you're doing it for others, always remember you have to honor the interest of the others who have rested their faith in you. Okay, they are investing their time, their effort, their money, whatever that they are investing on you. Okay, you have to value that. If you do not value me, I will not value you. Okay, we are all reflections of each other. How you treat the client, you get the same reaction with the client, and vice versa. So if you are talking to a professor, you need to know that he is telling me so that I can better myself. If you already know, why are you going to go to school? The problem is we all, like ignorance is bliss. I told you, no knowledge is best. Complete knowledge, somewhere in between is where the problem lies. So you go to a school, you go to a professor, and then you don't listen to him. How stupid of you to do that. Then don't go to a school. Just because you have not made the money, your parents have paid, or you've got a bank loan or whatever. When you have to go out in the market and make that money yourself, you will understand the value of that money. Because you are ignorant about the money, you take it for granted. You have to dissociate. You have to get emotions, but you cannot be emotional. It's like if I was a doctor and I had to my father was unwell and I had to operate him. If I was emotional, my hands will shake. Can I operate? So if it's a Sachin in front of me, if I get emotional about Sachin, I cannot get a good picture. So your emotions you have to get the emotion out by keeping the emotion aside. And then once the picture is done, you can get back emotional. Then go hug him and all that. That you can do later. I believe in common sense lighting. I mean, you will find it very difficult because I have not had any formal training. I didn't go to any formal school. So I picked up my knowledge from random things like books that I read or things I saw. Because if there is a window right next to me and and there's a door right on the other side, and if I have to create it in a studio, or if there's a tube light on top of my head, and then accordingly use the light, and then see the intensity of the window light will in the daytime will be more maybe than the light indoors, or the indoor light might be stronger, or it would be tungsten, or it would be fluorescent, so what kind of situation you are trying to create will define the light, the intensity of the light, the color temperature. All of that comes later. You have to first understand what you are trying to create. Are you showing a room, or are you showing a window, or outdoor, or a tube light, or a bulb? So what is it that you're trying to show? Are you showing glamour? So I mean, even every light, like like we say magic hour, like when in earlier times they used to show the bride or would be bride to the groom at a time when just before the sunset, and that becomes that we call the magic hour now as photographers or cinematographers, because that's the time when the golden glow happens and everything looks beautiful, because that time the light diffuses, the intensity of the light goes. So all of that, you have to catch the nuances, you have to feel it. Most of the time the mistake that we make is we think too much and feel very little. You have to feel more and think less. If you feel it, you will get it all right. If a Ravi Shankar is playing the sitar and Ritam is playing the sitar, you will go for a Ravi Shankar concert. Because you have already experienced Ravi Shankar or you have heard about Ravi Shankar. So it has, that is very good. So if Ritam plays cricket and Sachin plays cricket, you go and watch Sachin. So that is human tendency, nothing wrong with that. Okay. But the thing is, you never know. You might give Ram Gopal Verma a chance and he might make Shiva. And Ritam might fall in love with Nagarjuna and Amla. Who knows? And because of which Ritam might agree to do this webinar because he loves them so much. So you don't know where is the connection. Like Ram Gopal Verma, if Nagarjuna had not trained him or given him the opportunity, he would have never been able to create Shiva the way he did. And it became a cult film. We still talk about it after 28, 30 years with the same enthusiasm that we do. Somebody has to give that person a chance. Happy shooting.